This is a story time about how I got the opportunity to ice climb the Franz Josef Glacier in New Zealand. Hi everyone and welcome back to the One Globe 360 YouTube channel. On today's video, I'm going to be doing a story time all about how I got the opportunity to ice climb a literal glacier, the Franz Josef Glacier in New Zealand. So again, some context. In March 2019, I spent a month in New Zealand, a combination of staying with some family friends and also travelling in a G Adventures travel tour group. I had the most amazing time in New Zealand, and if you haven't visited, I would highly recommend you visit. So whilst I was in New Zealand, we travelled to Franz Josef, where of course the Franz Josef Glacier is. Now I studied a lot about glaciers at school when I studied geography A-level, so I was really sort of intrigued and curious about the Franz Josef Glacier, given I'd learnt a lot about glaciers at school. So of course I took the opportunity to ice climb the Franz Josef Glacier. Now I paid for there were different packages involved with being able to go onto the glacier itself. The first package, which was slightly cheaper, was you were able to go onto the glacier and just walk around. The second package, which was a little bit more expensive, was the opportunity to go onto the Franz Josef Glacier in a helicopter and ice climb the glacier. Now to me that sounded incredible and an opportunity that I could not miss. So I signed myself up for it, I paid the money, and there I was. On the day, nervous, excited, didn't know what to expect, didn't know what was going to come, but I just had the most amazing day, and what an incredible experience it was. So we went quite early in the morning, I think it was around 7 or 8 a.m. We got all of our equipment ready. You know, obviously we were going onto a glacier, so we had to make sure we were, you know, we had lots of coats and jackets, and we had the appropriate footwear to be able to actually climb the glacier, ice climb the glacier. So once we had all of that ready and we had a briefing and a meeting to make sure that we knew exactly what we'd be getting ourselves into when we got onto the glacier, we then walked to the helicopter, which was also one of the most coolest parts of the day. I've been in a helicopter once before over the Grand Canyon and I had such an amazing time. So the opportunity to go in a helicopter once again was something that I was super excited for as well. So we got in the helicopter and there we went all the way up to the glacier. It was around a 10 to 15 minute flight, so it wasn't too long, but long enough to be able to admire the glacier from above, which was just beautiful. So we then landed on the glacier itself and we quickly got into the preparation to be able to climb the glacier. So we started off obviously easy, getting used to the footwear we had the crampons, and we were getting used to just climbing up a little bit of the glacier, getting our foot in, making sure we were stable, we were balanced, we weren't going to fall off. We had these like sticks as well, these sharp sticks. There must be a technical term for these that you sort of hit into the ice to keep you balanced and still in the ice. So we're just practicing at the start just to make sure that we got the basics right. And after about an hour of practicing, it was then time to actually ice climb the glacier, which to this day is still one of the coolest things I have ever done. So of course, everything was super safe. We were attached to a rope. We had a leader, a tour leader with us at all times who was an expert, a glacier expert, an expert, you know, about the Franz Josef Glacier in particular. So I felt super safe all the time. She made sure all the ropes were set up correctly and they were safe. So we had a rope connected to us. We had our special shoes that can allow us to kick our feet into the ice. We had our sticks, I'm going to call them ice sticks, to hit into the ice to keep us balanced and obviously able to actually climb the glacier. So we were in pairs and I was with my friend Octavia, who was also in my G Adventures tour group, and then we were just really left to ice climb the glacier. It was as simple as that really. It took probably around 15 minutes or so to get to the top of the glacier. It was really hard. It was actually really physically challenging. It was like a workout because you had to really use your core and your arm muscles to get yourself up. You have to kick your feet in and then push yourself up and then hit obviously your sticks into the ice and then sort of straighten your back and then repeat. Kick your feet in, you're sort of in a squat position, reach up, hit the sticks into the ice and keep doing that motion all the way up the ice, which like I said was really physically challenging, but I love a challenge and it was such an incredible opportunity to be able to actually ice climb a glacier. Like I said, I'd studied glaciers at school, so I'd always had an interest, and then I had that pinch me moment where I was actually ice climbing one of the most famous glaciers in the world. So we kept climbing for probably around 2 to 3 hours, taking it in turns, and then after that we had a really long walk around the glacier, looking at all the crevasses and just admiring it all essentially. And like I said, our tour leader was fantastic. She was so knowledgeable about the whole glacier, so any questions we had she was able to answer, and we made sure we got lots of photos and videos as well to capture the memory of such an incredible day. We also got to try some fresh glacial water, which was the coldest, crispest water I've ever drank. It was delicious water. I know water generally tastes the same, but it was really yeah, really good water. Very cold, obviously coming directly from the glacier, so that was super cool as well. And yeah, at the end of the day we were probably up there for around 6 to 7 hours, so you know, maybe 3 to 4 hours of practicing, and then also climbing up the glacier, and then you know, 2 to 3 hours walking around and just taking it all in. So I'd say 6 or 7 hours we were probably up on the glacier itself, and then in the sort of mid to late afternoon the helicopter came back onto the glacier to take us back to the base. And I will just add, we were super lucky to even be able to get onto the glacier in the first place. Franz Josef, the general area, often deals with bad weather, and obviously you cannot fly a helicopter in bad weather as it's extremely dangerous. So the weather forecast wasn't actually looking good for when we were hoping to go onto the glacier. However, the weather was being kind to us that day, and it allowed us to go up onto the glacier itself. So if you're thinking of booking, make sure you're aware of the weather forecast at the time, and maybe book your stay in Franz Josef for 2 to 3 days, so it allows you to hopefully be able to get onto the glacier. In case there's a cancellation on one day, you'll have another couple of days to be able to get up there. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. As ever, I will leave all the information in the description box below about how much it cost, what company we use to do this amazing activity of ice climbing a glacier. And yeah, all the information, I'll put it in the description box down below. If you've got any questions at all, DM me on @OneGlobe360 on Instagram, and I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. But if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash the like button, comment down below, and subscribe if you can, to get me that little bit closer to 500 subscribers, which is my goal by the end of 2021. So thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you next week.